couple of things to say really. First one is like, we'll talk a bit more generally about what's going on when we look at the crisis of borders and the crisis of refugees in Europe. People talk about it as if it's, you know, some sort of force of nature that's created this situation. It isn't. It's because of wars going on around the world, because of economic devastation going around the world. People are being forced to move, and I think basically people have a right to migrate. And we have to say that very strongly, because everybody, all the major politicians, are trying one way or another to chip away at people's rights to move about. And we have to stand up against it. And I'll give one basic reason, apart from just straightforward universal justice and humanitarianism, why we should be doing this. And it's about the cuts and austerity that we're seeing in this country. I remember a couple of years ago, Nigel Farage from UKIP was going onto the radio, and he was late for some radio thing, and he claimed it was because of immigrants on the M4 was causing the traffic jams there. And that's a line I've heard before from the far right. I remember the BNP about 5 years ago was campaigning in London saying that the traffic in London was caused by migration. And it struck me when I saw them saying these ridiculous lies that pretty much any cut to our services, you can either justify it by saying there's not enough money, in which case people will say, well, what are they spending money on? And so you can raise a question about that. Or you can say there's too many people. So when we see cuts to the health service, cuts to housing, the reason they're blaming migrants is to give up a scapegoat, create a scapegoat for us. And that's why it's in our own interests to stand up in solidarity with migrants coming here. It's in our own interests to not let this rhetoric from politicians divide us any further. It's really important, even if it's just a small minority of people saying that borders kill and that we need to open all borders. It's an argument that needs to be made, and the people who are here making that argument are performing a valuable service. Thanks.